Hello, thank you for coming, everyone. This is kind of the first show of a series of shows that we're kind of planning to do. We want to do a few more after this. This is myself and Ziya, the two main guys that sort of work with this show. Just to kind of say a bit about what it's about is how it all came around is kind of through research and sort of a dissertation to do with the reasons of why we exhibit. And one of the reasons why we exhibit is to obviously show our work and talk about our work, but there's another fact that quite often people who exhibit are chosen to exhibit. And you exhibit to present it, obviously, but the only problem is that it's really hard to try and get that opinion and to show the work. How we kind of came around this is we kind of don't like the idea of how curators sort of dictate how you exhibit. So with this exhibition we sort of sent out information to loads of people quite early on, friends, contacts, people we sort of knew about exhibiting and coming here and showing their work. We then sort of whittled it down, shortlisted it, went on and on for ages, and eventually came down to this idea of having the people that are exhibiting here. And myself, I'm really pleased with everything that's here. All the work is fresh, relevant and new, and really shows what's happening and what's going on with the young people in design. The majority of people here are still studying, there's a few people that aren't, and it kind of shows you that level that there's young creative talent out there. We've got 3 people who are just going to go through a few of their projects tonight. So we have Dave, who's nervous and sitting down here, and we've got Dawn next, and we have Ed as well, who are going to go through each of their projects, talk a bit about their work and their ethic, and kind of where they come from. Just to say for myself, this kind of whole idea, SomeThinkFunky, is something that started off as a bit of a joke, as a blog originally, and it became an idea of how to become an exhibition and a series of exhibitions, theming each one with a different theme each time. Then kind of went down the route of myself and Ziya having many chats about how we don't like how a lot of exhibitions are run. Something that was quite clear to us is the idea of if you fear change, that you should leave it somewhere and put it away. And this whole idea, the thing we're kind of showing is effectively a jar which has got a note on it saying if you fear change, leave it here, and it's full of change, and you can add to that change. If you don't want the way that exhibiting is to change, you want to keep it how it is, you can keep it that way. And we're trying to use the money that we make to try and help with keeping exhibits and exhibitions the way they should be, like the traditional exhibitions in the 1851, the Great Exhibition in London. I think that's probably enough of me talking, so I'll pass on to Dave.
Hi guys. Yeah, my presentation basically just kind of contains images of my work that will just roll through, and if you want to ask any questions, please feel free. I just feel like I'm ranting to everyone, so yeah, that's more than more than so yeah, right. Well, to talk about why I'm exhibiting really, and why Chris. Yeah, and just talk about that for a little bit. I think it's really invaluable and important to work across disciplines, especially as a student. There's such a wealth of expertise and skills. It's kind of at your fingertips with the people you're working with every day, and I think it'd be crazy not to realise that and take advantage of it really. And of course it's a rare opportunity to meet like-minded people and exhibit with them and share your ideas, and yeah, I'm really appreciative of that, so yeah. Cheers Chris. Yeah, so my work recently has concentrated on kind of creating environments and suspending moments, exploring the relationship between figure, objects and narrative. I enjoy kind of discovering and experimenting with situations, either rooted in my experience or not, where this relationship is a state of tension, or it's vulnerable, or sort of has an exposure of some sort, and how as an artist I kind of have the ability and the freedom to engage and work with that. I've got deep interest in human form, and I've sort of linked that with my own experience, and I suppose what better to inform your work than what you are. All of my work has figurative elements to them, and they're never completely abstract. Hopefully it shows. I enjoy kind of real rawness and tension and physicality in my work, and it's really spontaneous, and I get totally immersed in the painting process. It very much comes from kind of within whilst I'm painting, and it's not until afterwards that I look back and see what I've made. But I think whilst I'm working, I draw on experiences of my highs and my lows, and kind of reacting to changes in the paint and my general feelings at the time of making the painting. And it's really a nice visceral process that I can be completely free and just let whatever happens happen. And yeah, to try to really get inside and react to that, being spontaneous, staying on the brink of kind of knowing but not really knowing where your work's going, but letting the painting have its own being and have its own energy. I'll just talk about my drawings for a bit, because I've got quite a few up there, you might see. I constantly draw, and I use my sketchbook as a kind of, I use my sketchbook for loads of reasons really, and means through recording my experiences or getting ideas down that pop up in my head, and basically use it as a playground to kind of be completely free without the need to show your work, and you get such a great immediacy with drawing, and it's literally from your eye to your hand, and I love that, and hopefully that carries through into some of my paintings, and that's kind of where I'm trying to push it at the moment. I think with the way I painted, as I talked about earlier, I rely quite a bit on my subconscious when I'm painting, I suppose, and the more I draw, I think the more there is in there somewhere that I can react upon and draw upon whenever I see something or whenever need be. I kind of allow the paint to dictate somewhat what I do actually make, and an idea when I kind of start the painting will very likely change by the time I finish, which is why obviously drawing is pretty essential, as it allows me to have like a palette of ideas running around, and I can draw on them whenever. I think working this way opens me up to a great deal of chance. I think that potency about my work I really enjoy, and I think it's a lot more engaging than things that I've meant to do, as it's come from in my head or come from somewhere, and I love the battle between me and the canvas, and how that develops, and how I'm seeing it develop, and how I have the power to do what I want with it. I'm also very much interested in the inanimate becoming animated, and the uncertain, which I hope my photography can show, and a kind of opening up to another world for me, in a different way of seeing, and a different sort of area of feeling, I suppose. And through creating environments and the moments that I do, I can conjure illusions and create places in between reality and fantasy, and sort of keeping you as a viewer, I hope, locked in this chasm of activity where you're not really sure about where you are, and you're not really, you're not sure your relation to the painting. Are you next to these figures? Are you looking down on them? And hopefully the scale plays around that a little bit as well. And I think the realistic forms that I use kind of act as a base for you to create your own assumptions about what's happening, but sort of provide a foothold to let you sort of imagine things further, and think about it, maybe. I really enjoy that conversation between the viewer, you, and what you're viewing. And of course the paint isn't real human flesh, or it isn't a bath, or it isn't the physical things, but I think for a moment, if I can make you believe that they do, that's something so special, and hopefully with that feeling bring an aspect of tension or violence or love or affection or anything that I'm trying to sort of convey in the painting. And I think where I'm trying to push at the moment is just trying to get that aspect of my work and push it more poignantly, I suppose, or get it so it comes across more immediately. I hope you've got some questions. If you haven't, that's fine. But that's my work. Let's listen.